Okay, so I thought, and this is a little out there for us. This might be total garbage, but I wanted to try to talk about this article written by a guy, a blogger
Okay.
that I used to read frequently, and I kind of forgot about him.
Oh.
He's primarily well, it's Mr. Money Mustache. A lot of people know about this guy if they are into frugality, if they're into saving money.
Hi, thanks for joining us. I'm Lana,
And I'm Mark.
and we're here just to talk about real estate, small business, and just life.
Turns out most people who watch or listen haven't yet subscribed. If you could take a minute to do that, wherever you get your podcasts, we'd really appreciate it. Let's get back to the show.
Let's go.
This is one of those guys. He's like one of the gurus.
Okay.
He retired. Don't quote me on this and hang me if I get it wrong. I think in his like early 30s or something.
He retired?
He retired. Like he had saved enough money, invested enough money where he didn't need to work anymore. And I think he was an engineer.
Okay.
And then he just started doing like side work, doing construction because he liked it. And that's kind of what he does to fill his time is he works out, raises a kid, does some construction work around his neighborhood, focuses on a blog that talks about like teaches people how to retire early.
Okay.
So there's a giant movement out there of people trying to do what he did. And he's not the only guy that did it. He's just one of the many gurus who has the ability to write about it. So he wrote an article about Social Security and
Okay.
it popped up because I was kind of curious. I pay into this thing. I don't really understand it.
Right.
And I keep seeing headlines that like it's underfunded. Politicians keep like taking money from it to use it for other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I'm not well versed here,
Mhm.
but I know I've been paying that since I was a kid. I started working young and I'm like, okay, wait a minute. So am I going to get any of this? Like, what is it? It's
Mhm.
basically like a retirement plan that
Right.
you can start collecting on and you can choose from a different, like you get more money if you take it at a later age.
Oh, right.
So you're eligible somewhere, again, we're just talking.
Yeah.
Don't
Don't
It might be
that.
67. I know they've changed it. It used
Oh.
to be you could take it in your, I think, early 60s, and then they made it a little bit later in the 60s. They want to make sure everybody dies before they ever get a chance
Gets
to
it.
use this money. This guy decided to do the math on like the actual value of it.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
he's using some fancy words
Yeah.
like net present value. And all the engineers that are listening are sitting there going, that's not fancy, dude. But you know what? To some of us, it's fancy. All right. I think what he's trying to say, his article, just if anybody's interested, it's called The Shockingly Simple Math Behind Social Security. It's from April of this year. And the first time I read it, I fell asleep. So I'm not really promoting it as like a sink your teeth into. But if you look at the math that he's doing, what he's basically saying is like, all right, let's say, Lana, that you were going to plan to retire.
Okay.
And you were saving toward retirement.
Yep.
And you wanted to know, like, based on what I've got saved right now, what is the value of that in the future when I take my Social Security? Like, if I need $2 million to retire, and I know I'm going to, like, this is making that assumption that you're actually going to get Social Security. So I guess that's not a question I don't think he's broaching that here.
No.
He's assuming, like, yes, you're going to get it. And, like, how much less do you need to save right now? Assuming that you're going to get this.
Oh, got it.
What's the net present value of your future Social Security collections?
Okay.
So that you don't have to stress about that part of your retirement plan.
Okay.
And I thought that was kind of cool. I'd never seen anybody break it down and say, like, hey, there's a math formula you can use to figure out, like, to actually incorporate Social Security into your retirement plan. When we had the financial advisor on here, she got my wheels turning about this again because I hadn't thought about it in a while. And I just thought it was kind of cool. I don't know exactly you have to kinda know, like, you have to kinda have a plan, like, when you wanna retire and how you wanna
I
retire
think
for this
that's
to be
hard.
valuable.
That's hard.
Where are you at with it? Like, what do
So
you
when I was 52, way back in the day, I
can't be that long ago, okay.
I remember going to my financial advisor and he said to me, "When do you want to retire?" And I'm like, How do you know? Right?
Yeah,
Like, I don't know. Like you start work and you just work until you're retired. Well, what is retired? I don't know. What does that
dead?
mean?
What does that
Okay.
mean? Yeah.
So I said, "All right," I threw out a number. I said, "How about 59?" And he laughed at me. And I said, "Well, what does that mean?" He said, "Well, I don't know if you can retire at 59." Okay, let's move fast forward. 59, actually like 57. Lana, you can retire. Lana, you can retire at 58. Lana, you can retire at 59.
This is the same guy?
Mm.
Oh,
He's like, "But what does that mean? Retire?"
yeah,
And so I mean, they break down like this is what you have right now. And this is what you can live on. Can you live on this amount? But I don't think I ever had a clarity of where is that money coming from? Is that social security number? Is it from my investments? Is it cuz my bank account, right? Cuz I'm
yeah,
saving
yep.
to live every day. I I don't really have a breakdown of knowing where that's coming from. And then like you just said, where is the pot?
Right.
Where's the pot? So now I'm going to be 60 in a couple weeks.
Congrats.
Yeah. And now I'm going to be 60. And now I think, I don't really know what retirement, like, I guess one day I'm just going to wake up and say, I'm going to retire.
Maybe you're just done one day and you know it. I don't know how
Right.
that works.
Because I think there's some people that say, well, I'm going to work till X amount and they're in an employment where their employer pays out, you know, they have a retirement
Dude,
package.
nobody's got a pension anymore.
Okay.
That made me wonder, like, is this what people are
They have
they're like, "When
pensions.
I can s" I
Colleges.
okay,
Colleges, teachers have pensions.
municipalities, I
Yeah,
think,
they have
yeah, like,
pensions.
some do, but it used to be, like, people that
That
worked
was
in
the thing.
corporate got pensions, but most corporations have done away with that, so I feel like, yes, there's still jobs where you can get a pension,
Mm.
but they're far and few between compared to what they used to be, so I think I'm assuming a lot of people are planning retirement around when they can collect Social Security.
So when can you collect it?
That's actually not in this article. That would have been a really good thing
Mm.
because I wasn't sure where this conversation was gonna go. I wanna say you can start around 67, and then
Yeah.
what they do is they increase the monthly amount you receive if you delay when you start. Once you start, you're locked in.
Mhm.
But I think if you started at 70, you'd get a bigger check for the rest of
Mhm.
your life. But you might also be dead. So it's like you gotta decide, like, when am I
And why not use the Social Security money that you've been paying into since 15, 14?
yeah.
Why not use that money first?
What do you mean first?
For, like say you have investments, you have annuities, I don't know, whatever people have a Roth IRA. I don't know if they have IRAs or whatever they
Yeah.
have. Why wouldn't they want to use the Social Security money first?
I think it's constant. So, yeah, I think it just needs to be part of the plan.
I don't know. I hear some people say, "Oh, I'm drawing on my social." So I know a couple people that have just recently retired. Oh no, I get a Social Security check, and that's what I'm drawing on first.
Okay.
And I'm like, wow,
I'm not sure what they mean by that
yeah.
exactly.
So they're not pulling out of any other accounts.
Maybe they're just trying to cover everything they can with it and only tapping into their other investments as needed, like when they need to buy a
True.
car or something like that. Maybe it's enough for their day-to-day groceries,
Mm.
electric, pay the bills kinda
So do
thing.
you know what you have in your Social Security? Supposedly, what you have.
No.
So they should.
There is
He,
a I logged in a couple years ago,
yeah.
but I have
I have logged
just to
in.
make sure that it existed because
Yeah.
I'm like, "Wait a minute, I've been paying in this thing my whole life, like, does it exist?" It did exist, but it didn't get me excited, I remember that.
Right.
I wasn't looking
I
at it
remember
like,
as a kid, they would
"Oh, I'm
send it
good to
to you.
go."
Right. They would send it to you. Like when I was in college, I remember getting paper, when they used to
Oh, neat.
send it. And they used to say, this is what you have in there. I'm like,
Okay.
okay.
It said I
Sound like
still
a
have to work
bond.
a lot. I remember that. It was basically like, "No, no, no, you still gotta work a lot, buddy." That was my takeaway. You you're nowhere near
So
done.
how did he retire?
This guy did it oh, man, I used to read this years ago. So,
Right.
I think he mostly did, like, index funds investments.
Mm,
He was very much he was big on not spending money. Like,
mm,
he's one of the proponents of it's not what you make, it's what you keep and then invest. Like,
okay.
most people just are wicked spendy and they don't even realize it.
Mhm,
They don't realize where their money's going.
mhm,
He was ultra conscious of where every dollar was going.
mm,
And I think to a lot of people that sounds like a horrible way to live, but he lives a really seemingly great lifestyle because he's not focused on just like wasting money on stupid stuff. He bought his freedom.
mhm,
And I think that's where most people like seem to miss the whole idea.
mm,
That's my concept of retirement. I do agree with this guy on his overarching like I think retirement is when you buy your freedom. Like you could work if you want. Doesn't mean you can't work.
mhm.
It means you don't have to.
Have to.
Like you can
Mhm,
work or not work. You can take it or leave it. You can take off for a month if you want to. You could ride your bike across the country if you want to. Like whatever the hell you want, you can do within the boundaries of how you
mhm.
retired.
Remember when we had the, financial person on, and she brought up the fact about, um, the old way of thinking of saving and retirement? Like, you're doing it for a legacy. You're
That was interesting.
passing money on to your kids,
Yeah.
but you're working all this, saving all this because you're gonna pass money on?
Yeah.
So, I think what you're saying is once you get to a point in your life, or he's saying in the blog, you get to a point in your life, whether you're 30, 40, 50, or whatever you are, you just realize, well, I can live now. I don't
Yeah.
have to work. And maybe my purpose becomes someplace else that is needed that I didn't have the ability, the time, or
Right.
the energy to
You could
do.
volunteer for an organization that doesn't pay you but makes you feel amazing
Mhm.
because you're doing something really good in the world.
True.
He used the 4% rule. This is coming back.
Okay.
So the 4% rule is a pretty classic, like, um, really ultra conservative way of knowing you'll have enough money for the rest of your life. So let's say you had $1 million invested in the stock market in index funds, like super simple, um, predictable return. Like they know over the last 100 years, these things have on
Yeah.
average returned like, let's say 7 to 10%,
Right.
whatever it is. Um, so the 4% rule says if you got the million in there, at that point, you could take 4% off of that and spend it on your daily life for the rest of your life. So
Because
that's
it's always gonna make money
40
because
grand a
it's
year for the rest of your life
pretty easy.
because you're never going to start chipping away at the actual nut. It's going to actually continue to grow. This is a very 4% is a very conservative number.
Mhm.
So if
Mhm.
that thing is in there making 7 to 10% and on a good year, a lot more than that, um, you're never going to run out of money. You have to live on the 40,000.
Mm,
So I think that's how people like him kind of do the math on like when am I done? They figure out how to live on what they've got.
mhm,
So okay, if they've got $1 million stashed away and it's growing, that this people like him have found ways to grow that pretty quick. It's
mm,
kind of amazing
mm.
if you if you're as strict as he is, like how fast you can grow and let it compound. Like
Are you saying that he takes, let's just say it's the 40,000. He's taking that 40,000, he's living, he's using it, but he's reinvesting the
no,
40,000?
that's just money he can burn
Okay.
any way he wants because he's never taking enough away from that
Yeah.
pile of money for
Right.
it to matter.
Right.
It's going to continue to grow at a higher rate than he's ever going to take it away. So I think that's one way to define retirement too is if you know not necessarily an age,
Mm,
but if you know what your expenses are. And you say, "Well, it costs me $80,000 to live the way I want to. So, how do I get $80,000 a year without working?"
mhm,
And once you have the answer to that, then you have your goal. Um, that's how people like him do it, and I
mhm.
kind of like that because it's a math problem, not a age problem.
And it also doesn't put the old school thinking that I was into.
Yeah,
What it's just the standard is you go put your money in an investment. What does that mean? Well, I don't know. Go put your money in this and
like you
go
don't know
put your
why
money.
you're doing it.
And I don't know when I retire how do I get money?
Right.
I don't know where I'm getting it from. Like, where do I get it?
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, it's wild stuff.
So his rule is 4%. I mean, imagine 4% on even whatever he has, right? So
Now
even
he's
if
significantly higher than he ever needed to be or thought he would be.
and we'll think at 30 years old, you don't have really a lot of expenses at 40. I mean, at 40,000 at 30. I mean, what do you have? Well, car payment.
No, he doesn't believe in those.
But so hear me out. And so I love that because
Yeah,
I don't believe in loans and all
same.
that.
Don't do them.
I believe in if you have the cash, you buy it and then
Yep.
you're done. Appliances, anything. That's the best thing that um, I learned when I was 19.
Nice.
Yeah.
Who taught you that? Or did you just figure it out?
My mother-in-law taught me that. She said, if you guys can't put the money away and you can't pay for it, whether it's a refrigerator, dishwasher,
Yeah.
anything, then you're not buying it because you're not going to put it on the credit card. You would be amazed how much $25 a week out of your paycheck throwing into an account accumulates in
Yeah.
no time. And you're like, all of a sudden, oh, the refrigerator went. Oh, that's okay. We got it.
Yeah, no big deal. Yeah.
What a
I was lucky
feeling.
enough to have parents who advised me like
That's
that.
awesome.
And I didn't always follow the advice. I definitely fell off the wagon a couple
Mm,
times, but like it's in there. That programming has always been in my brain.
mm,
And I feel really blessed for that because I feel like a lot of people I'm surrounded by don't have that training.
right.
And reading stuff like this guy seems like way out there
Mm.
to a lot of people. Like,
They can't reach it. It's not
how could you
attainable.
possibly ever do that? But
Right.
um, I mean,
Well,
he literally just spells it right out. Here's how you do it.
I think I told you the story. My son, when he was little, when he was born, we got the piggy banks.
Hmm.
And everybody came in and dumped it because back then you had change, you had dollars, you had everything in your pocket. By the time I cashed that in, I set a mutual fund. Fast forward, he never touched that.
That's awesome.
He used that money for his down payment for his house.
That's super cool.
You forget about it. But
Yeah.
it was just, like you said, just matures. But that's from coins, dollars, shoved in a mutual fund.
Isn't that something? Doesn't take much. But that's that power of leaving it alone and letting it compound.
And find that dollar that
Grow.
you can throw away. Like, do you have 25, $50 once a week? I bet you could find it.
Oh yeah.
And then in a year's time,
Yeah.
and then invest it, and then
And
take the 4% rule.
and like you said, just a simple, even if you started simple, where you
Mhm.
just had enough money to not stress out and not put it on a credit card when you lose a tire on your car.
Yes.
Um, the average American, here's a stat. Last I heard, and this was not long ago, the average American's $400 away from a financial crisis. A
What?
lot of people live this way. They are one paycheck away from disaster. And that's terrifying. I mean, that knot
Yeah.
that you get in your stomach when
Mhm.
you're behind the ball,
Mhm.
um, a lot of people just live that way all the time.
I can't even
And they
imagine.
cannot see the way out. And that's why I love guys like this who can write about it in like this article was a little wordy.
Mhm.
A lot of his stuff is actually very fun to read. Like
Mm.
he's a very entertaining dude about frugality and explains what a lot of people find difficult to wrap their head around with money
Mm.
very simply.
Mm.
He just breaks it down. He breaks down those barriers.
Mm.
Um,
Well, Money Mustache, we can't even thank you enough for
no,
letting us have you on our show.
you're a good dude. I think you did the world a good service by writing that blog.
I think that what you brought to the table for me when I was saying to you, I don't know anything about Social Security. Isn't it
Yeah.
horrible? We just don't. I mean, I'll share that with you, and I know you shared it with everybody. But I think what you also brought to the table was like little things can change it. You pay cash for things. You don't use a credit card for everything.
Mm.
Take some money, put it aside, and then check out where you can invest some money. And I bet in a short window, even short window for me is 5, 10 years, right?
Yep.
Short window, you can see that, okay, maybe you can switch the job and do something more that you enjoy versus this is the one because it's paying all the bills,
That's a great point. It can get
right?
you out of that rut of feeling like you're glued
Right.
to a crappy job.
Right.
Yeah.
Because now you got that little nest egg and you know there's guarantee for that. You're doing that.
Yep.
But now you can say, okay, wow, I have that. So now I can go do this. And maybe that's that's the thing that, it can happen more for people, and I hope people are listening so maybe they can think about that.
They should listen, and they should subscribe.
They
Why
should.
don't we wrap it up on that?
Love it.
I'm Mark. You can find me at wachusettinspection.com. I'm on Instagram under Wachusett Inspection as well. Reach out, comment, light me up for messing up all the statistics that I tried to grab out of my head. And you are?
Lana Kopsla, Coldwell Banker Realty in Leominster. You can find me at Lana Sells Homes, and I'm also on Instagram, and I'm also on Facebook, and I'm all over the place. So please reach out and give us your comments. We love seeing the good and the bad. Love when we hear what you think about Mark. No. And
Try.
no, we'd love to hear what your topics that you like us to talk about. We'd love you on our show. So don't be bashful, subscribe, and give us some comments and some feedback. Thank you so much for joining us.
Cheers.